Brothers and sisters, we have a plan. This is Backwards James, and it is Wednesday. Can you believe it's already about to be February 2014? The time is speeding up, my brothers and sisters. I want to get on here today and talk to you guys about something that is also very central to my ministry. And of course, it is the flaming sword of God. I want to discuss this flaming sword of God with you, my brothers and sisters, because honestly, the flaming sword of God is pretty crunk. I mean, there are so many hidden secret things that have not been fully understood. And guys, understanding is the key thing. We really want to understand. But the flaming sword of God, guys, the sacred secrets don't get more interesting than that. I'm talking about the second baptism. I'm talking about the holy fire baptism. I'm talking about Revelation 8:5. I'm talking about the two witnesses. I'm talking about the judgment of God, the sword of God. Now, these are all integrated together. So I'm just going to get right into it, right out of the Bible. The first time we see this fiery sword of God is in Genesis chapter 3:24. That's where the fiery blade is flashing back and forth. Now, Adam and Eve got kicked out of the garden. Okay. There were cherubs that were posted, one and the other. There were two cherubs, and in the middle of the cherubs, you get this flaming sword. Now, again, that's kind of interesting. I just thought about that. The Holy Spirit's pouring things out, man. The two cherubs that are posted, and in the middle, you have the flaming sword that's flashing back and forth. It's rotating, right? Now, you got two cherubs. Look at the Ark of the Covenant once again. At the head and the feet of Jesus in the tomb, you had the two angels, the men in the flashing garments. You know, the Ark of the Covenant is Jesus Christ. He is, the two witnesses are found inside of him. Again, another, likeness. Whenever you see two black cats in the Matrix, God's trying to tell you something. Look, that flaming sword of God, it is the two witnesses. We're going to get there, but that's the first time we hear about it. You have to go through this guard to get back to the Garden of Eden. We have been kicked out ever since. Well, then, I think Moses is very, very interesting, but we're going to skip Moses. We're going to skip Joshua. Two very interesting prophets of the Lord. Also very integral when you're talking about the two witnesses. But I want to skip over and I want to talk about Judges, because I'm reading Judges right now. The flaming sword of God. It makes another debut in Judges. Now, the way that it happened, this was the account of Judge Gideon, right? And he was kind of interesting. You had Gideon and the 300 men. The 300 men, they were all handpicked, by the Lord. What Gideon had them do, they were, I believe it was the Philistines that they were warring against. I forget who the enemy was, but what Gideon had to do, he said, what I'm doing, you do like me. And so he grabs, they get 300 jars and they get torches down from a tree. They light these torches. He breaks them up in 3 bands and sets the ambush. They put the torches down inside the jars. Okay. And then right when it's time for him to lead into the battle, he crushes the jar and he grabs the torch. It says he grabs the torch with his left hand and he grabs the horn with his right hand. I don't know what's significant about that. It's all significant. He grabs the torch with his left. His He grabs the horn with his right, and he says, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon." And then they all did the same thing, all three bands. And, there was a very great army that was opposing them. I guess from a distance, right? What would you have seen? All of a sudden, all this light coming out of nowhere, all this loud noise, this horn. It's going to tie into Revelation. But yeah, at a distance, it was probably a sight. It says that the enemy, they started fighting each other when they saw that the 300 men, and God was like, at first they started out like with 10,000. He said, "Oh, the people are too many." And he started to weed them out, got them down to 300. And then they did this strange, thing with the jars and the torches. Now, the fire is the main point, brothers and sisters. The fire, the sword of God is fire, okay? The holy water. If you had holy water, okay, in heaven, that holy water would be fire. He said, not by military force, okay, and nor with horses or chariots, but by my spirit. Okay, this is how our God conducts things. So the fiery sword of God, it's flaming fire. It's that same rotating sword that was flashing back and forth in the garden. The same sword that's blocking you to go back to the Garden of Eden. Here's another debut in Judges. So you should check that out. Also, Judges chapter 15. Same thing. Once again, fire. Look at my favorite judge, Samson. Oh, Samson is awesome. No, he's a superhero, right? Guy's got superhuman strength. Guy's got long hair. He loves women. Oh, man. He's a man's man. Well, look what he did. Now, this is very interesting. He's against the Philistines. I know that for sure. Forgot who Gideon was fighting. But Samson's going against the Philistines or Philistines. And he gets these 300 foxes. Now, there's the number again. I mean, you got the 300 men of Gideon. You get the 300 foxes. No coincidences. I'm not sure what it means yet. I'll check it out. He gets these 300 foxes. Now, this is the way that it's worded. Judges chapter 15, verse 4 says, he takes the 300 foxes and took torches, and he turned the foxes tail to tail and put one torch in the middle between the two tails. Now, that means he takes the one tail and another tail and then puts a torch in the middle. Now, that just reminds me of what the Lord said. He said, where two or more are gathered together in my name, there I am in your midst. Okay, the scripture says the torch was in the middle of the two tails together. Now, that ties into Revelation 9, verse 19. Okay, because you get the unholy hordes, the locust army and the demon beast, they rise out of the pit and the smoke. Then later on in chapter 9, the four angels are untied. Then you get these armies, the cavalry from the heavens. Okay, and it says that their breastplates are blue, red, and yellow, just like a flame. Okay, my brothers, my fellows, right? You can't see the three colors there, okay? But there are three. The base would be blue, the middle would be the red, and the tip of it would be yellow. There are three, people want to say it's blue and orange. Okay, orange is made up of red and yellow, okay? So, very interesting. So the breastplates in Revelation chapter 9, okay, the breastplates 9:19, right? Their breastplates are red, blue, and yellow. That means fire. Their breastplates are fire. This is the flaming sword of God. Once again, it makes a debut. So important, this stuff. It says that the fire issues forth out of their mouths. Their authority was in their mouths and in their tails. Okay, their tails had the authority. I'm under the thinking that the tails represent the tail end. We are the tail. If mankind is a serpent, the head would have been Adam, the tail, the two witnesses, the last men to make it, those that are alive when the kingdom starts to come. The tail has authority. It issues fire out of the head and the tail. So coming out of both ends there. Very interesting. But we see the foxes, they set everything on fire. The 300 foxes, there's the fire again. That's the sword of God. It just is. It just is. Look at Isaiah chapter 33. Very interesting. It says, the peoples will be burned to ashes like thorns cut away. They will be set ablaze. Listen to what I have done, you nations far away. And you who are near, acknowledge my might. The sinners in Zion are terrified. Trembling grips the godless. Who of us can dwell among the consuming fire? Who can dwell with everlasting burning? So, a lot of people read past that in Isaiah 33. They don't actually see below the surface what is there, the flaming sword of God. This judgment and this fire, remember he said, the first one was a flood, the last one will be fire. We all have heard that before. God destroyed the world with water first and then with fire. There's your water baptism. There's your fire baptism. Oh man, first and last, Alpha and Omega. Our God is amazing. He has so many deep things. These things that are not on the surface, they are far below the surface. You actually have to pay attention, my brothers and sisters. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 18. What does it say? The house of Jacob must become a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. Look at Joel chapter 2. What does it say? It says, a great nation, like it none has ever existed, and after it none will exist. It says, ahead of it is like the Garden of Eden, but behind it is a desolate waste. It says, it's got fire ahead of it, wherever it's going, there's fire, So again, this is the flaming sword of God. Look at all these references. Okay, we know that the Christ was transfigured, but then look at the way he looks. Revelation chapter 1, right? It says his eyes are a fiery flame, his feet are like burnished copper. Okay? It says that out of the mouth of Elijah, right? Didn't he call down fire? You know what I'm saying? The two witnesses at Revelation chapter 11. If anyone wants to harm them doing all their 1260-day ministry, don't they call down fire? Okay? So there was another one I forgot to list. This is the one with Elisha. Okay? When Elisha was resisting the king Aram. And then so the king sent all his military after him, and Elisha had the attendant. The attendant was knocking knees, was very upset. He said, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" And then Elisha said, "Open his eyes, my father." What did the servant see? Oh, he saw chariots of fire all around him. He said, "There are more with us than there are with them." And that's 2 Kings. So there you have it, guys. The flaming sword of Jah. That is the flaming sword that is rotating and still is guarding the Garden of Eden. So that Garden of Eden, look at Joel 2. Put 2 and 2 together. That it says the Garden of Eden, Joel 2. No, that is the flaming sword that's flashing back and forth. The Christ said what? The sign of the Son of Man. He said it would be just like lightning that flashes from the eastern parts to the western parts. Okay. So I'm telling you, the composite sign, the two witnesses, we accept the glory of God, which is fire. Revelation 8:5. It comes down upon us, and all of a sudden we flash forth just like lightning. It is the flaming sword of God. I'm telling you, the judgment that is coming down upon the earth after the 1260 days and after the 42 months, Christ returns with his entire army, the entire host of the bride, the 144,000. Look at Revelation chapter 14, standing on Mount Zion. I guarantee you they're going to put the kings of the earth to death with flames. The beginning judgment was water. The end is going to be fire. It's going to be magnificent, my brothers and sisters. So I wanted to talk to you about the flaming sword of Jah. That's what I've got. I'm going to keep it under 20 minutes. Y'all have a great afternoon. This is Backwards James. I love you.